Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships. Today we're taking a look at update 15.3, bringing a brand new dockyard and a bunch of changes to the game. We're also getting some new events for Azur Lane. Not into that as much, but importantly, that's bringing some ships like a premium Massachusetts. So you get an opportunity for one of my favorite ships in the game. Objective points, map rebalancing finally for mountain range, some aircraft carrier changes. Armory, Sibir is coming back. I'm very excited for that. So I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. First of all, this update is going to last a little bit longer. Looks like it's going to be a 6-week update by the looks of things. And we're going to have 2 event passes for it. This dockyard here is bringing ZH1. This is a tier 9 destroyer focused on airstrikes as well as torpedoes. Not the best HP on this one, nor the best guns, so you're going to have to be a little careful about getting into gunfights, but decent utility tool set here. 4,000 doubloons to get this one. You got to buy the final 2 phases. There are 20 phases total. You can do the early access thing, 3,200 doubloons for that, but for 800 doubloons, peace of mind, not having to feel like you're fully locked in. You've already spent the money, sunk cost, all that. To not have to deal with that, I think that is worth waiting on, of course. This will be available until update 15.5 arrives, but in 15.4, the final week of that, you won't be able to do the combat missions, which, speaking of, these combat missions over here are not too bad. I really need to stress that you can do these in many different game modes. So co-op, of course, random battles, but even operations, ranked, clan battles, as well as these alternate modes like brawls and asymmetric battles. Scrolling through these, I did not find anything that was that crazy to deal with, especially until we get to the later tiers. Otherwise, just a lot of damage. Any specifics that you may see, like main battery hits, as well as incapacitations, perhaps, a lot of damage to ships. Remember, you can do these in PvE modes as well and get a ton of these missions done very, very quickly. I think maybe the big problem ones will be base XP missions, but so far I haven't really seen those until the final day. There are some options here, but they are not required. Remember, the only ones that are required each week are the ones that give a shipbuilding phase. Otherwise, you just need to complete 6 of these in total. You don't have to complete every single one. Now, moving on, things like 14 million credits, normal XP, things like that. You'll want flags, of course, for economic bonuses, but here, captured, assisted captured, defended ribbons can feel a little bit weird to get in random battles. Just send it into co-op. Defended ribbons especially, sit outside of a cap, let all the bots run into the cap, and just take a high DPM cruiser or DD, and just slowly move your aim point around to different enemy ships in the cap, and you'll farm up 25 in like a single game, basically. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it, actually, to grind out a lot of these missions. Gaining damage, of course, well, that might take a little bit longer. Normal XP, that is where economic bonuses come into. This is half of a tier 9 to tier 10 grind, so could take a while, but with those economic bonuses, that wouldn't be too bad, I don't think. Commander XP as well, a lot of bonuses there. Hits to citadels, again, just full send it into a co-op mode, and you can grind through that relatively easily. Second last week here, starting to see much bigger numbers. This is going to take a lot longer for you. Here is the only required base XP as far as I could see, and this is in the 8th set of combat missions. So even if you miss out on this one, that adds 2,000 doubloons to the cost of the ZH1 if you're interested in that ship, which it's okay. I like the British short burst smokes here. Having an engine boost is nice. 5-kilometer hydro is pretty cool. These torpedoes are the exact same as we get on the Z46. Much worse guns, some of the lowest HP at the tier. And these bombers here, very unique as they pen 32 millimeters. A fellow destroyer with airstrikes, the Tromp, has only like 22 millimeters of pen, something like that, and very much relies on hitting superstructures or fires. This one, though, full pens all the way through even battleships. It's got a 10-kilometer range, but only 1 strike available to it. So that means that anytime the strike is loaded, you're losing DPM if you don't immediately use it. That's kind of the issue there when you're not actually have multiple strikes to charge up, which something like Trump does have. Here is the dockyard location where you're going to build it. Pretty big section here for just such a small DD. These will be only available to you for the first, I think, until you get 4 phases, something like that. Again, I would recommend holding off, but if you want the absolute minimum doubloon cost, that will be this 3,200 doubloons for getting the ZH1. Since this is a longer update, we're actually getting 2 event passes here. Nothing particularly interesting here, I gotta say. Nagato camo, the samurai ones, which is up to taste. I kind of like them. Issei here in the paid track of the first battle pass. We're also going to see some new ships coming into the game here, which will be pretty cool. So a cruiser, Turgut Reis. I'm sorry about pronunciation. I'll have to figure that out for the video. And Shigure. So very interested to see what those will be looking like. New event. Rare ship, though, designation. Means it's going to be FOMO. No news yet on the cost of these things. At least not in the patch notes here. Second event pass is going to be for Monaghan, a DD that's been in the game for quite some time. Longer update, no new tech tree line or anything like that, unfortunately. There is a new Weeb collaboration here by the looks of things. Very excited, though, to see especially Massachusetts, another opportunity to get one of my absolute favorites in the game. Black Friday, always a good option there. That is going to be around, I think it's 8,000 doubloons on Black Friday, so it'll be very curious to see how much they're going to charge for this version of Massachusetts in this event. That one will be available a little bit later, though, by the looks of it. New objective points. This is cool. Really shows off your contributions to the cap zones. It's a really good thing to clearly define how you're impacting your team's success when it comes to the main objectives. Sometimes it feels a little nebulous on how well you're doing or not, but to be able to clearly see this now, I think it's just a really, really good change. You can even add that here with the UI. Make sure you go in and enable that. I think that's a really good thing that Wargaming is doing. Adding mods in, they added the score timer mod, the shot timer mod. This is a really good one to add that wasn't a mod, just a little bit more clarity on how we are actually obtaining objective points and how we're contributing to our team's success. Here are the details. Basically, wins, of course, give you a lot. Capturing zones, assisted captures, blocking captures. All of this was already in the game, I believe, helped contributing to your base XP amount. But now just showing it to the player, which I think is just a really, really good thing. Speaking of good things is changes to maps and updates to game modes as well. So they're trying to deal with some of the maybe stale gameplay on some maps, I suppose. So very excited to take a look at some of these. Alternate dominations, pretty cool. Map rebalancing though. Mountain range. Okinawa was a problem, but so was mountain range. Last update, they changed Okinawa. This update, they're changing mountain range. It is not that much different. Okinawa got some really massive changes, but here the big one is going to be over on the A cap here. Notice how the cap zone goes from in the very middle of the map, very open water, over to some actual island cover here. And these islands have also been spread out, so you notice how they go deeper into spawn down here and up here. This is a really, really good change. And I think this will make this A flank a lot more playable for cruisers in particular. B is still very open, but maybe these 2 islands here in the middle have helped, maybe, us play a little bit better on the B cap. But more options to play. C cap appears to not really be changed, but C cap was already pretty good on this map. So this is what we're dealing with here as a new side of this map. I will say these islands are pretty far back, especially this one down here. This is really nice. More gaps between these islands will allow cruisers especially to play up, but even battleships, I hope this will lead to a little bit closer matches on this flank, a little bit less spawn camping, that kind of thing. Notice a lot of these islands here also have opportunities for DDs to push into them. Even cruisers, you know, you'll be able to pretty easily hide behind an island like that one. This island here as well. I'm excited to try this one out. I will say, knowing my luck, I'll probably just be spawned up over on the C flank there. But very, very nice changes here, I gotta say. I'm looking forward to it. It still feels quite open, but at least the A flank here will be a little bit more playable. This island here is still very flat. Part of me wishes that they had actually included this larger section of the island to be included on this side. I don't know. Sometimes that doesn't go so well where there's no opportunities to actually flank around and get around the island the other side. Makes for some very powerful positions. So maybe it's good they didn't include it, but part of me wishes it was, giving you even more options to push very aggressively towards the A cap. this should be a better experience on Mountain Range. Really nice to see. In the roadmap for 2026, they also talked about a new map coming towards the end of the year. And I mean, we got a new map earlier last year, as well as these 2 map rebalances this year. If we can get 1 new map plus a couple rebalances, that's going to be such a nice direction for the game. No promises on that, of course, but if Wargaming can accomplish that, that'll be really nice. I'm very excited about Mountain Range. Back to the patch notes, there's no real major changes to aircraft carriers. There's a small thing here with how patrol fighters are spotted. Now, if you spot a patrol fighter and then dip behind an island, no longer having direct line of sight, it will go undetected. Now, well, I mean, they stay in the same area, so it makes sense that they would just leave that available since we already know where those patrols are. That's about it there. Brawls, of course, alternate game mode that can be fun depending on the rule set. They have done some pretty crazy stuff in the past. We'll see how that goes this update. Again, you can grind through missions in Brawls. Very, very happy to see that. Armory, of course, is bringing us a ship rotation this time. Very excited to see Sibir coming back. Like half a year since this ship was initially introduced, a little bit longer than that maybe. It was with the last year's anniversary update. It was, of course, 40,000 doubloons to actually get that ship. Now, though, we can see it in the Armory here for 26,300. This is what I was guessing that it would be available for, and I'm glad that that has proven true. A little bit of consistency there, some predictability. Wargaming goes a long way, so very nice to see that. And of course, you can use your 25% off coupon. So that gets it well under 20,000 doubloons, like 18 or 19,000 doubloons for Sibir. Very, very nice to see that as an option this update. We'll be doing a video on that one soon. Don't you worry. Sibir is an absolutely crazy, incredible brawling battleship. Heal available the entire time. You actually don't have to worry about the cooldown in between because you get all of your healing up front. It's a little bit less healing than Kremlin overall, but massive benefit to get it all up front. The secondaries are really good. Great accuracy here, crazy fire chance. Sure, they don't pen a ton, but their main feature is lighting a ton of fires, and for each secondary hit, you're farming up combat instructions, which give you a 20% dispersion buff. Yeah, an accurate, consistent secondary battleship. Pretty crazy and very, very fun to play. Notably, it's a little weaker armor than Kremlin, not by much, but just the deck armor here is 40 millimeters, so you will get full penned a little bit more often because of that. Otherwise, the main gun accuracy is a little bit worse normally, but with the F key up, it's a lot more accurate than Kremlin. So you charge up that F key, you save it for that surely opportunity, as I like to say, and pretty much get dev strikes unless the aim system bugs out on you, which, let's be honest, it tends to do a lot these days. Some small other changes. You can RGBify your desk, I guess, if you have specifically Razer products, I suppose. Not for me, not interested in that. Here is some extra updates and changes, and not a whole lot else. Surprising a little bit, I gotta say that this is a 6-week update. Is that right? 6 weeks total? There's not too much here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe some of these events coming partway through, like they talked about the Azur Lane stuff, as well as these 3 new ships they talked about here: Regele, Carol, Turgut, Reis, Shigure. You know, there's some more events here than what they actually say. I'm surprised they don't have their own section for that. It's kind of footnotes here if it's part of the update. But anyways, that is update 15.3. Looks decent. Very excited to see that map change. And well, this Dockyard isn't necessarily for me. That's okay. I do hope, though, that they bring back old Dockyard soon. They did mention that as well in the roadmap video. Go check that one out if you missed it. Some very exciting stuff on the horizon, even if update 15.3 doesn't bring a whole lot to the game. Let me know in the comments down below what you're most excited for. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.